we have to look at the chain and solve the problem around the chain. And that is why when I came to TCN, you know I'm a staff of African developer, and I'm still a staff of African developer. I came on special leave. I'm still a staff of African developer. So when we came in, when we look at the chain, the side of TCN, TCN had a capacity slightly below 7,000 at that time. We have ramped it up, it's more than 7,000 now. But if you look at the power pyramid anywhere, the power pyramid is such that if the capacity of the generation is 7,000, then TCN should have 14,000. And that means distribution should have also 28,000, twice that of TCN. And that is why we come up with transmission rehabilitation and expansion program to see how we can expand the grid. Because the purpose of having twice that of generation is because you have to create necessary redundancy. That is what we talk about N-1. So when we come up with that program, and you are aware that so many donors have come in, because we cannot use what we are getting from the market to expand the grid, nor use federal government budget to expand the grid. So the only way we can go is to go to donors. We have raised about $1.55 billion. And in this $1.55 billion, we are expanding the grid, and we are putting redundancy all over the country to the level of N-1. And I want to give you an example of what is N-1. When we had a problem in Abuja shortly before I came in February, the whole of Abuja was having a problem when we have 60 MVA that went out. Now, when we had similar problem recently in Jos, when we have 150 MVA that went out, you will agree with me that Jos didn't feel anything. What that means is that in Jos we have N-1 capacity, while in Abuja we didn't have. So the purpose of this investment that we are raising is to put capacity all over the country. And that includes Lagos that my friend is talking about. And the way we're working is not just raising the money, but we have also looked at what are the big constraints that we have been having in delivering investment in Nigeria. One of them is the issue of right of way, and that's why we are working with all the states. The Commissioner was in my office yesterday. As part of the collaboration we are doing, we are working with the state to solve the problem of right of way all over the country where we are having investment. Then the other issue is the issue of stranded containers that we have been having. One of the big problems we have been having in the past is that equipment manufacturers that are manufacturing equipment, they are interested in supplying equipment to Nigeria, but they are not interested in the installation problem inside Nigeria. So they don't want to come to Nigeria, but they want to sell equipment. So what they do is that they sign an agreement with UG Mohammed & Co, for example, who has no experience in installation of such kind of equipment. The equipment are shipped to Nigeria, they collect their money on LC, and then the equipment is stranded in the port. When I came to TCL from February to date, I've paid 2.5 billion naira, clearing stranded containers, and after that we have not finished. So what we have done differently now is, we have increased the qualification criteria of such contracts, so that anybody who is coming to sell equipment to Nigeria, you have to be interested in installation, so that the risk passes to them. This is what we are doing. And we have also asked the donors to also solve their problem. If you look at the time between project conception and project effectiveness in Nigeria, it's always taking about 2 to 3 years. What we have extracted from donors, which they agree, is that we are doing advanced procurement. And that is the reason why, even though the loan has not been signed, has not been negotiated, the transformers for Lagos and Northwest was advertised and evaluated. You have seen the evaluation report. So this is how we are working, sir.
The reality is there's no rocket science to the energy business. Take it from me, from somebody who hasn't been part of the energy business, but it is important that there is full alignment. So I want to just use real example for us, because each one of us are users. If we assume the 4 people here are using generators in their house, we all know how we use generators. You know there must be an alignment between that generator you are using and the load in your house. Otherwise, if the generator is too small, what happens? You make sure that some load does not come on the generator. So if you escalate that to the full value chain that we're talking about, starting from that other end, not the generation side, because often we don't look at the commencement end, that's the customer end. We start from the customer end and say what is the load in each house. And the supply, which is a combination of the transformers, that's the distribution transformers, like small transformers we connect to, and then the sub-transformers, the larger one, the power ones that connects to TCNs, must all be able to fit that load in your house. If they can't, then you find out that you have expectation the other side cannot meet it. Historically, that alignment never existed. It is now that the attempt is made to start the process of alignment. So you have his own, his transformer or his generator, so to say, can carry 10 megawatts of power. But the need of his house is only 1 megawatt of power. So he has surplus. That surplus is not translating to his own, where he needs 5, and you are only giving him 1. But when you combine the two, the system has more capacity, but yet it is not coming to that end. You will hear things like enumeration and all those other things going on to assist in doing the full-scale alignment. So it's a process. If you hear the numbers of capacity of each party, is more than enough. But because it is not aligned, you don't get the result that end user wants. And so that's one key thing I wanted to highlight. The unembedded, and I want to use the example of our disco, because we're in a gas producing zone, and because gas is the largest. From day one when we got there, we had so many people that came and said, I want to be embedded with you. And I even have 1 or 2 in this room here that we even signed agreements with. From that day on, 2004, etc. We have a list. What we take from the grid ranges between 300 and 500 megawatts.
What do you not believe? So.
Yes, for 4 states. What we have in those who have approached us to start embedded, as at today, is 1,600 megawatts. That is times 5 or times 3 of what I currently collect. And of course, we have a lot of customers who do not have power. If you discount, because we break it into 3, you discount those you say have potentials, those you are not sure of, and those that are real, that we have even signed MOUs with, they're close to 500 megawatts. So why has it not taken place? Yes. Very simple. I like the way the commissioner mentioned it earlier. Nobody will come to say, I want to sell power to you, but I'm a charity organization. Even if it's a charity organization, unless it's being funded somewhere, it will only start and after some time go. Pricing. And the way the pricing has been regulated. The pricing that ensures that the people that are in that chain have sustainable process. Some of the embedded took off within 1 year, and some of them are here, they can tell their story. They had to quickly pack up, because when they saw the huge amount of either receivables or losses that are coming on, boy, I want to continue to be alive. So there's a need to change. There's interest, more than enough, but there's a need to change certain parameters that will force the system to work. And the parameter is simply pricing in a way that allows that to look at the end user and develop a pricing system that can work.
Everybody who is on the system should be captured and brought into the system. That's the first issue. 2, we need to have a metering solution. Everybody must be metered. 3, you need to have a revenue assurance framework that ensures that the customer is not just bearing the losses. If I'm not operating efficiently in line with my revenue requirements, the customer is not the one bearing the losses at the end of the day. And because the industry is so codependent, so you can see from the Genco to transmission to distribution, they all get paid along the way. There has to be something that Dr. George at the end sees that this is how much we're making.
this is depending. It's not the disco collects all the money and tells Embed, oh, this is what I have. So we need to have some transparency in the system. We all need to know that information asymmetry shouldn't exist anymore. We all need to know what everyone is earning along the value chain. We know what the approved rates for each person is, and we have our revenue assurance system. And whatever you do, you know that these pool, the people who will pay, you've captured everybody. They're on the system. So it's everything ties together. Yeah. And if you go ahead and just do it now, when you haven't addressed the fundamental issues, you're going to create serious unfairness and inequity in the system. And I've spoken to some DISCO CEOs that operate in certain top areas. They will tell you that we do not even want a tariff increase. Wow. Because if you increase that tariff, that is it. As in, even the 20% that are paying me now will stop paying. So you need to capture everybody, bring everybody into the system, right? Have your revenue assurance framework, ensure that everyone is metered, and address the issue of electricity theft.